So today, after my walk, I decided that it was time to be even more vulnerable with my experience, my past. So hopefully this will be relatable to some. So I made some notes, and I know it's been said, and most people don't agree with this, but that being vulnerable is actually a strength. So I guess it's a strength because you're not hiding anymore. You know, you don't have anything to hide, so it frees you, and that makes you stronger. Freedom does make you stronger. So in an effort to be vulnerable today, I wanted to go over some things that I've experienced in my life, and maybe this will spark something in you. I know as a child, I was very sensitive and emotional, and this wasn't really accepted in my family very well. They didn't know what to do with it, of course, because they didn't know what to do with their own emotions. So as a result, I actually was made the family scapegoat, the black sheep of the family. So in being scapegoated, you have a lot of blame and shame placed upon you, because you're basically holding all of the unhealed trauma of your family, and it's projected at you, and you're looked at as being the one that's should be ostracized, or not even ostracized, but judged, you know. So I have experienced a lot of judgment and ostracizing and feeling misunderstood by my family. And it was really confusing and heartbreaking, because I learned very young, in order to feel safe and to feel loved, that I needed to please. I needed to please those around me, which meant I had to suppress my own feelings and emotions. And of course, when you suppress, you become depressed. And of course I did. I had depression most of my young life. I mean, it progressed obviously into adulthood, and you know, I got into abusive relationships, emotionally abusive, basically, psychologically and emotional abuse mostly, where, you know, it still wasn't okay to have feelings. It still wasn't okay to have emotions. And I learned later on, more recently, that I'm definitely a highly sensitive person, and so these feelings, these deep feelings, were misjudged and misunderstood and shamed. And so I learned how to suppress, and it's been very painful and very confusing until I mean, I've learned a lot along the way. Let's see. So as a young person, I was definitely labeled as selfish or too emotional. So I never really felt heard or safe or understood or acknowledged. I always felt like I wasn't good enough, like I wasn't accepted by the family. So this led to a lot of heartbreak and a lot of sadness over my lifetime, a lot of loss. I've lost my family periodically and then ultimately. So, yeah, it's been a very painful journey, but what it's taught me is to really tune in and hear my own voice, and that's what was required. I needed to be out of that system that kept me small, that kept me diminished, that kept me suppressed, that kept me disconnected from my higher wisdom. And this is all part of the path when you are here to have a message for the collective, to have a mission. You have to go through this period of isolation. So I had to remove myself from the negative voices, the voices that said, you aren't good enough, you're not good enough to be my mother, you're not good enough to be my sister, you're not acting in the way that's acceptable to this family, you know. I had gifts. I had spiritual gifts. I had intuition. I'm an energy healer. All of those things were misunderstood, judged, feared, and so I was ostracized for having these abilities, and it keeps you in that state of feeling like you're not accepted, you're not good enough, and so that required me to step away from that system so that I could actually come into my own self-love and self-acceptance. And it's been a journey, and it's been very, very hard to realize that your family doesn't really accept you or like you. It's been really tough. And some of the reasons too, not only my spiritual gifts, but also differing views. So anytime you have a different view, you know, you're going to be judged or misunderstood. So if it's, you know, different political views, religious views, even your views on your life values, you know, what you value in life. So all of that can have you being vilified or ostracized for those views. So ultimately, it's taken a lot of bravery, a lot of courage to step away from my family. And it's been heartbreaking. It's been very, 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 very hard, to say the least. But I'm understanding more and more about it and why it was necessary for me in order to regain my power, my strength, my voice. I had to get away from the other negative voices that were not in alignment with who I am and what I'm here to do. And so, you know, this feeling like you aren't good enough, like you're not accepted by the family, it's very detrimental. It's devastating. It's just devastating. Because, you know, that's our safety. That's our, you know, that's our foundation in the world, right? Is our family. And so when they, you know, ostracize and misunderstand and reject you, it's devastating. It's horrible. So there's a lot to it. Spiritually speaking, there's a lot more to the subject, but I just wanted to kind of delve into the emotion of it, and how, you know, I've really suppressed a lot of myself and my voice over my lifetime, and it's time to time to speak. And I am. I'm speaking out. And I know there's others on this path. And ultimately, everyone was going to have to face themselves. Face themselves. Yeah. So, I mean, the isolation has been tough, really tough, especially when you don't understand it, you know, and you're confused at first and heartbroken and feeling like, you know, the foundation has been ripped from you. So it causes you to ultimately start building your own foundation, you know, your own foundation as a being. And it definitely grows you. You know, you have to source your own strength, your own wisdom, your own security, safety. You have to source it from source. You aren't relying on external family to, you know, rely on. So it's definitely grown me. It's made me a lot stronger. I'm still in the process. I don't know if the process ever really ends, but, you know, I think you go through different stages, of course. Anyways, is there anything else? You know, feeling cut off and ostracized by my daughter, and you know, not being able to see the grands and all of that. But you know, it's also my decision to stay away because it was affecting me negatively. Her view of me and her judgment of me has been very detrimental to my self-concept. And so I had to break free from that. And, you know, this isn't the only devastation, but it's been the hardest one. Years ago, when I was younger and had her as a child, I was estranged from my own parents for religious reasons. So it is a thing that runs, obviously, in my family, apparently. So hopefully one day it will be resolved. Not sure how that will happen, but I know that I have a voice now. I have a reason for speaking out and helping others to move from feeling like they're a victim, like they're that they have no power and they have no voice. And so I'm here to be the voice of the voiceless. And more I will be stepping into that role. I still don't know how that's all going to show up, but I know it will. Anyways, I think that's enough for today. I think I've spilled my guts enough. But yeah, it's been a really, really tough road. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well, and feel free to reach out if you want to connect. And let's give voice to the voiceless, to what hasn't been spoken, and heal those aspects. So, love you all, and sending you lots of healing energy, and I will talk to you all later. Thanks for listening. Bye.